Oh, yeah. Okay. A lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff in this chapter. Insane stuff in this chapter. Spoiler stuff in this chapter. Let's just open with that. Spoilers for chapter 1150 if you have not read it yet. If you haven't read it yet, I mean, if you want to wait for the official, I suppose wait for the official and then read it and then just loop back to this. I mean, this video will be up for a while, but like still, crazy chapter. Insane chapter. 11 out of 10. 666 out of 10. That is how good this chapter was. Super. Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. I feel like, I don't know if this is the right vibe. It's too bright in this room. I just woke up too, so I think I'm going to go and, like, change the lighting up a little bit. Give that a second here. Hey, everybody. Welcome in. Hello. Just a random dude. Yeah, I can't believe Dory and Broggy are evil now. They did a heel turn. They did a heel turn. Dark red color. Yeah, it's way too... This is too bright and sunny in here. The story is in a place where it's kind of at, like, hell. So let's try to go... What color is hell? I'm imagining red. I'm thinking red and purple. I'm imagining hell being red and purple. Okay, let's try to make it red and purple. I'll make these lights purple. Hold on. All right, and then we'll go red over here. Give me a second. All right. Let's see. What's red? It's blue. Hang on. I went in the wrong direction. I have to loop back around. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Oh, that's that. All right, let me do this one. Okay. All right. That works. All right, now, there we go. That's better. That's better, right? Yeah. That's hell. You go to hell and it's mainly red and purples. That's what you go. Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome in. We're going to be talking about chapter 1150 today. The Great Chair Sama. Yeah, there's also a lot of chairs in hell. A lot of chairs. Granted, the chairs are mainly filled with spikes and poison ivy and cacti, but they are chairs. They are, technically speaking, a chair. Yes. All right, that chapter was peak. I know, right? Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about it. I don't want to get off topic today because this is a big chapter and there's a lot of shit to discuss. We'll keep all super chats to read throughout the stream, so if you send in a super chat, I don't read it right away. Don't worry about it. Also, YouTube's doing this new thing. Don't really know even what it is, but it's like, I guess it's just doing like top contributors sort of stuff. So some people get crowns. Like Hat got a #2 crown. Bob got a #1 crown. It was his crown, Mr. Krabs. He was #1. See, we're already getting distracted with the SpongeBob. Okay. Have to admit, I do enjoy the idea that Emu's power is tied essentially to Genie fumbles. Like, you need to agree to his terms accidentally. So that was something. Let's talk about that, because a lot of people brought that up, okay? I hesitate. It's a cool idea, but I hesitate to say that's what Oda was actually trying to convey because of the translations involved. So what the reference there is, so Emu says to Broggy, like, Broggy and Dory, you are now the new kings of Elbaf, okay? And Broggy responds, I think actually in this translation it is different. There's different versions of this. You know, he says, like, you know, don't you think you can control our country? You know, something like that. And it's like, oh, you said it's your country. It's our country, meaning you and Broggy, meaning you acknowledge that Emu said you were the kings. Therefore, it's a cool idea. I just don't know what the actual Japanese says. I'd have to look into that and figure out exactly what's that referring to, okay? But I like that idea. I do like that one, yeah. What was my favorite part of the chapter? Honestly, when Broggy went down into the portal And then Emu just does the flip with their hands, and then it just literally flips. Like the entire portal literally just flips that way, and then he comes out the other end. Like as he was going down, it's like his lower half was evil, and then it like covers, and then it comes back out, and he's like, you know, many times bigger, and he's like truly, you know, demonic now and stuff. That was pretty sweet. Does that mean Emu is American? Emu is canonically a firm believer in the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. Emu believes in the right to bear arms. I just love the fact Emu's devil ability, like the power of the devil. And it's like, I'm going to pull out a double barrel 12 gauge shotgun. It's like, yes. Yes, Oda. I mean, think about, like, Emu had a fucking pitchfork in the last chapter. Did Emu even use the pitchfork? Did Emu even do anything for the pitchfork? Or was the pitchfork just a costume decoration? Just like, oh, I'm gonna be a cool, you know, devil person. I have the pitchfork. I mean, but I know. I'm gonna start blasting. You know, that's how I really fight. Oh, Emu. Yeah. Emu cast gun. Got a shotgun. Oh, dude. Oh, yes. A lot of Black Clover references. I don't know if I want to go too into that because that might be tangent territory, but a lot of Black Clover references with the grimoires and stuff. Next to pitchforks, guns are a very devil weapon. Are they, though? Aside from Devil May Cry, when did demons and devils typically like, I am Beelzebub? It is like, when did demons and devils, I am Astaroth? RPG 50 caliber sniper rifle. Like what is that typically a thing? Gun magic. Yeah, especially in One Piece. Okay, Gun Devil from Chainsaw Man. Okay, you got me on that one. But yeah, typically guns in One Piece aren't really like the end all be all. Like name all the characters in One Piece that are badass because their primary weapon is a gun. You would be hesitant to get to 5 characters. Well, I'll go through them right now. You got Yasopp, you got Ben Beckman, and you got Van Augur. Who else? Braum? Braum does not count with his flash guns. You know, Zoro was able to beat those by just putting some goggles on. About all the theories about One Piece out there, do you think Oda ever trolled and put an actual ending out there? I don't know. I have no idea how Oda views the story in that regard. Probably not. I mean, I feel like Oda has a basic outline. I mean, he has to have a basic outline of this story. Editors do, you know, like the supernovas were not originally intended to be in the manga. That was something that was kind of added at the 11th hour. So later on, it was just like, oh, okay, like I'll include the supernovas and I'll figure out a way to incorporate those, you know, into the story from there on out. Wiper doesn't count. Yeah, Wiper. Wiper's super badass. That's why Wiper's doing so many things in the story right now. Baby 5 doesn't count. Daddy doesn't count. I'm talking about strong character. I'm talking about Ben Beckman, Yasopp, Van Augur, final boss, ultimate endgame characters that use guns. Izo does not count in that regard. Okay, Blackbeard carries guns. He doesn't typically use guns. Well, he does. He does pull them out. I think he did shoot Whitebeard with a gun, but like that's not how Blackbeard fights. Blackbeard fights with his devil fruit in the Guru Guru no Mi. He has some guns strapped to him, but yeah. Daddy, Yasopp, Beckman, Izo, Wiper, Van Augur. No. Daddy and Izo and Wiper, get those characters out of here. Sorry. They're not on the same level. Kid that one time. Okay, maybe. Okay, you might be able to make an argument for Kid. You might, because he does summon a giant railgun. You might be able to make an argument for him, but he's also Captain Kid, so yeah. So Lucky Roo's primary weapon that he uses to fight apparently is he turns himself into a giant ball and like rams into enemies. He did use a gun to shoot, but we're not talking about characters that just use a gun. Frankie is interesting because he's a cyborg. Does that make Frankie the gun? Is Frankie cool because he uses guns, though? Not really. Frankie's cool because he's a cyborg that fires laser beams and has a Megazord and shit. Yeah. Okay. Emu's Domi Reversi. By the way, how would you pronounce it? Is it Domi? Okay, to me, because it's like, I guess, Latin-esque, I suppose, and very like devilish, incantation kind of like thing. Like we're going back to like the old days or something, like some lost civilization. Like I want to say Domi Reversi, like something like that, or Domi Reversi. But also I want to say Domi Reversi, because Reversi just sounds really goofy and funny. Dome Eye Reverse Eye. That sounds cool. That sounds kind of like a devil incantation. You can kind of feel that vibe. Domi, like domicile. Domi mommy? Is Gunko a Domi mommy? I need to know. Reverse Eye. Reverse Eye. Yes. Domain responsion. Okay. Dome Reverse. Dome Reverse. That sounds cool. Dome Reverse. Dome Reverse. Yeah, all right. Yeah. That sounds cool. That works. I mean, hey, okay, let's go back to this one really quick just because I went off on a tangent there. Okay. Dome Reverse. Immediately forgot how to pronounce it. Reference the game Reversi, where you change an opponent's piece color from black to white if you take a piece. The Sepia Zero agents played it in Onigashima. I thought they were playing just Go. I thought they were playing Go. I didn't think they were playing another game. I also, Othello. Is that Othello? Is that like a different version or a different name of the game Othello? I've never played Othello, but I also hear that like that's like a game that uses like the pieces where you capture each other. I actually have no idea how to play that game. Never played it. Is it fun? Is Othello fun? Yeah. Do, mi, reversi. Musical notes. Okay. Oh, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay. Is that... Ooh, that's a reference. That would be funny. Yeah. If it's less than Latin, it's just a musical note. Yeah. Othello has a different start, but the same idea. Okay. Reversi is Othello. Yeah. All right. I got you. All right. Similar enough that it is Othello. Okay. Yeah, I got to play Othello. I've never played it. Never owned it. Never played it. I've read the play, though. I've read the Shakespeare play, Othello. Okay. Did I miss anything? Not really. We were just talking about pronunciation and Emu summoning guns. That's pretty much what we're up to right now. Yeah. Pronounce like it is written. Okay. Domi Reversi. There you go. There it is. Take protagonists from anime and Western media, Harry Potter, Eddard Stark, Asta, and Toriko, and determine if they be pirates, marines, bounties, and hunters or revolutionaries. That sounds like it would be a good idea for, a stream idea. Like, I'm always looking for new stream ideas and stuff. I want to, oh, by the way, I have an idea for a live stream, a new tier list, where I basically go through and I say which male One Piece characters have the most Riz. I'm not sure. I might do that. I'm not 100% sure yet. The Riz stream. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, but I'll write that down, Daddy. Daddy. Yeah. Do you think Broggy's new axe is a black blade? I think Emu's new shotgun is a black shotgun. Just like, I don't know. Like, I was like, is it an armament hockey shotgun? Like, I don't know. It had a black barrel. So, like, I don't know. Just write this down really quick. Yeah, Wapple could be on there. Yeah, that'd be funny. Yeah. Yeah, so, God damn, this chapter is insane. Okay, so, Emu definitely prefers guns. And I wonder if it's like... So there's a lot of parallels here between Emu and Luffy that a lot of people have brought up. Essentially, Emu is the exact antithesis, the exact opposite to Luffy's Devil Fruit ability, right? So Luffy's Devil Fruit ability is the Nika fruit that gives freedom and liberation to everybody that witnesses it and hope and all that kind of stuff. Emu's is the devil, is the exact opposite. Instead of the god of hope or liberation, she is the devil of restraint and control, okay? Like, which sounds kinky, and it kind of is, but who are we kidding? It 100% is. But anyway, in this situation, it's like Luffy uses, like, named attacks after guns, and then Emu's actually busting out the guns, you know what I mean? Like, something like that, yeah? and also has had 800 years to practice this ability. Why do you think Emu is not doing this more often? Like, there has to be a fucking reason why Emu is hiding in Castle Pangaea. Maybe Emu just doesn't want to deal with, like, ruling the world in that capacity. Like, Emu just really doesn't. Like, if Emu wanted to, Emu could just turn all of the Marines evil and control the entire world with an iron fist. Maybe they just literally don't give a shit to do that. Like, I don't want to rule the world like that. I don't care. It's not because of any moral reason or ethics or anything. Emu just doesn't want to do it. Emu is just like, I never wanted to be. What if we look? Because we're going to learn some weird backstory crap with Emu, right? Like, we're going to learn about who Emu Neurona was and how the Allied forces originally came together. Like, we're going to get a flashback of the Void Century. We're going to see Lily. We're going to see the original, like, Doflamingo King or Don Quixote King. We're going to see the original, all the original kings and everything like that, from all the different areas, the original Figarland ruler, I suppose. We're going to see all of them. And then we're going to see Emu Neurona. And what if Emu Neurona was, like, shy, demure, and just like, I don't want to rule the world, and then turned into this, it was just like, I don't really want to rule the world, but I've been given this, I have to do it. Like, it's either this or the world ends or something, and they are just tired, and they just don't care, and they have the ability of, like, ultimate control, and they do use it, but they only use it to, like, the bare minimum. Like, all right, fine, I'll make the Gods Knights and I'll make the Goro say, you guys run the world, I'm gonna be over here and play with butterflies and think about what could have been, like that kind of shit, right? Emu gets the saddest backstory. Oh, hey, CJ, how you been? Emu might not be here anymore, might not have a body, might be immobilized. This could just be the husk, too. I mean, this, by the way, keep in mind, this is Emu Gunko. This is Emo. All right, I was saying Gunmu, but, like, Emo is way better. Everyone was saying Tekking. Emo was right there. Emu Gunko. Emo. Like, Emo was right there. I'm like, granted, okay. So, this is just proxy Emu. This is just Emu manipulating, controlling someone else. Maybe Emu's actual... What if Emu doesn't even really have a body? What if Emu takes off the cloak and there's nothing under the cloak? It's just nothing. Emu is the possessing the cloak. That would be weird. Didn't Queen pull the same thing as Emu with the Ice Oni? Same effect too, allies become enemies. I mean, yeah, except there it was with a virus that was actually affecting you that could be cured with, like, Chopper's, like, anti-phage thing that he did, right? Okay. I don't think that Chopper can whip up a cure for evil. I don't know if Chopper could do that. I mean, I'm sure he'll try. I'll whip up a thing to give Dorian Broggy the anti-evil vaccine. Like, I don't know. What do you think about Emu having the... Oh, I'd have to look. I don't know. Is that the name of, like, a demon or something? You feel like that looks familiar. Hecate. Hold on. I feel like that's the name of a demon in, like, the Lesser King of Solomon or something. No, Greek mythology. Here we go. Magic, witchcraft, and the moon. She is typically depicted as a goddess who has power over the night, the underworld, and various forms of sorcery. Hecate is obviously shown with 3 forms of faces, symbolizing her connection to the crossroads choices. I mean, yeah. It could definitely... To Greek god of magic. Thank you, yes. Possibly. So, a lot of people have actually looked into various myths involving Nika, and does actually, like Joy Boy, there actually is, like, an African deity named Joy Boy in, like, actual, like, mythology that humans have come up with. So, Hecate, there we go. Thank you for that. Hecate. I was like, how do you pronounce this? Hecate? I think that sounds like a mineral. It was like Hecate. Thank you. So, it's very possible, like, the design of this alone. Hold on. Let me show you, because Jarks over on Twitter, go and check out Jarks, did an amazing piece of artwork for Devil Gunko Emo. And I have, I have it right here. Okay. So, yeah, JL Jarks over on Twitter. But anyway, obviously the play here is, like, I want to say the devil from, like, Christian teachings, but it's more of, like, the devil from, like, a lot of pop culture depictions of Christian teachings and stuff like that. Like, another way of looking at it is, like, Dude, I watch a lot of Twilight Zone, and every time the devil shows up in the Twilight Zone, usually, and they want to go really over the top with it, the devil actually appears with, like, you know, the bat wings or the tail. It's like, I am the devil, you know? You know, that's kind of that. So, yeah. I'm seeing more succubus. Well, emo. Yeah. Looks like Nami. Yeah, I mean, like, we don't know what color Gunko's hair is. But if Gunko has anything close to, like, red hair, like strawberry blonde hair, Gunko is going to look a lot like Nami in this form. It's just going to look like, yeah, evil Nami. Spirit Halloween Devil. Yeah, there we go. Spirit Halloween Devil. Or a Black Clover type of devil, which is pretty common in fiction. It does pop up quite a bit. And I love the sick design here. Yeah. I mean, we could say succubus, and I could see succubus. I would say succubus more for Stussy than I would for Gunko. Gunko is clearly like, I mean, Emu's clearly, you know, final boss of the story or very adjacent to the final boss. If Emu, I mean, it's either Emu or Blackbeard or Akainu is going to be like the final battle that like Luffy's going to have to fight against, or Shanks, maybe even throw Shanks in there too. So like we're throwing all that out there. I mean, like you know, Emu's got to be the devil, right? Like we can't just say like Succubi or like some other random demon or like some kind of lesser kind of creature in Hell's court. I mean, Emu is the Lord. Emu is God. Emu is the devil. He's the fucking devil. Yeah. Yes, the arrow that pierced Cobra. Okay, so let's talk about this now. That's actually a good jumping off point. Okay. For a long time, I was under the impression that, oh, what if Emu is Mother Ocean? She is the god of nature. She is against the powers of devil fruit abilities, right? And so you could kind of couch it like, you know, she hates devil fruit abilities. Maybe the Gorosei have some other kind of ability that's not a devil fruit. But now that we're seeing this information out, that we have the tail and then Gunko's ability, that doesn't seem like the case, okay? It seems like Emu doesn't particularly give a shit about devil fruit abilities. And now that we understand more about the Domai Reversei technique, it's very likely that the Gorosei consume devil fruits on their own of mythical creatures, mythical zone powers, and then with the Domai technique, powered them up even further, okay? So the reason why, like, Ethan Baron Venus Juro has a really huge, powerful Bokotsu, or, was it a Bokotsu or a Hokotsu? I think it was a Hokotsu. Giant undead skeleton of a horse centaur thing. It's not just because of the devil fruit on its own, it's because of the reversal technique, okay? Increasing the power, right? So it's also very possible that, yeah, Emu gathered, like, now the comparison between this though, because Gunko has a devil fruit, like that was shown in the box. Gunko has the arrow Nomi, so you can't just say, oh, it's Emu's ability, you know, through Gunko. Gunko has her own ability, but it might have been an ability that maybe Emu can consume more than like infinite devil fruits. Maybe Emu has like just can consume as many devil fruits as they want. You know, I'm not going to say it's like every devil fruit in the story that Emu can access, because that might be a little bit, first of all, that would be too much for Emu to have like 400 different abilities. That would be way too much, and Oda would not be able to showcase that off properly. But Emu just, the restriction doesn't apply to Emu. So Emu ate 5 mythical zones for each of the Gorosei. Emu ate the Dream Zone and lent that power out, or the Kirin Zone with the Dream powers, and lent that power out to Killingham, maybe? Maybe something like that. I think we're beyond devil fruits at this point. I hesitate because Emu's a literal fucking devil. So that's the thing. Devil fruits, there's a devil right here on the page I'm looking at, right? Like, what else do you call her? Devil fruits and there's a devil. So there's gotta be something going on there. There's a connection that has to be drawn. All right? Oh. Dude. No wonder I miss your streams. They always start at midnight my time. Sorry, Yume. Yeah. Oh, I think he's an actual devil, which would be gone devil fruits. Yeah, but devil is involved here, okay? Even if you want to say, okay, What if Emu is the devil that created the devil fruits? There you go. We could go with that. Also, when Emu... Hold on. Let me pull up the Emu Drama Queen video really quick. Yeah, the good old Emu Drama Queen video. Drama Queen! I literally titled it Emu Diva. That's literally what I titled it. Okay, so when Emu was talking to Cobra, and was like going through all of the different like, oh, okay, this is, you know, Will of D and everybody like that. You know, Emu mentioned a bunch of things talking about that, mentioned the pirates and the scholars of Ohara and all of that stuff, and how the poneglyphs were scattered to the world because of Lily's blunder and everything. Emu didn't bring up the devil fruits. Emu did not say, those damned devil fruits that are out there in the world challenging my dominion. Emu was concerned with the poneglyphs, not so much the devil fruits. So I think it's possible that, yeah, Emu doesn't care. I don't know if Emu created the devil fruits. I mean, an actual devil, so I don't know. But at the very least doesn't care and will utilize their powers for, you know, their own means and their ends. Dark inversion domain reversi. Has anyone made a domain expansion joke yet? Oh, I'm sure hundreds of people have. I think there was a few earlier in this stream. Yeah. So maybe Emu could just consume as many devil fruits as possible and then, like, you know, delegate the powers out, loan out the powers to others. Hey, Techie, I got a One Piece tattoo sleeve I'd like to share. What is the best way to send a picture? I mean, you could just, you know, go on Twitter, I guess. I use Twitter occasionally. You know, yeah, I'll probably see it if you just say, hey, here's my new tattoo, and you just, like, tag me, you know, or at me. Yeah. I could see that. What color do you think Emu Gunko hair reveal will be? I don't know. I've seen so I pink, I've seen blonde. I don't know. I kind of now want her to have like red hair, like not red hair like Shanks, but like Nami's like hair, kind of like orange hair. I'm kind of used, like when I imagine Gunko, I'm picturing her with orange hair. I don't know if that's the same with you, but just let me know. Yeah. Anybody that Emu is contracted with, they can use their power. Yeah, it was something like that, yeah. Well, Emu probably has to, like, give them. You can't just, like, access whatever, but, like, yeah. Gunko's hair will be mint green. Okay. Okay. Hear me out. Rainbow hair. That would be sweet. Light blue to white. Yeah, white is another idea I've seen thrown out. I've seen some fan art with white hair. Emu can cut and paste any devil fruit ability and make frankenfruits. Oh, that's a cool idea. We haven't done devil fruit fusion that much, to be fair. Top Man has boar, flame, dice. You know, see, that's a cool idea. It's just Top Man is based off of a Hoki, which is like a boar in Chinese mythology. So that would make sense on, like, because mythical zones have all the, mythical zones have all the weird abilities on top of the animal form. So, like, the fact that they, I guess giving the Gorosei, I know we just got out of Wano with all the different zones. And, oh, by the way, all the Gorosei, 5 more mythical zones. But, I mean, it makes the most sense. I think it's the most utility and freedom on Oda being able to throw a bunch of powers into one ability. You know what I mean? Like, if Oda wants you to turn into a boar and give you fire abilities and give you energy attacks and all that stuff, like, mythical zone's really the only way you can do it. Yeah. I could see Emu having the fish fruit model C devil. Yeah, at this point, I'm okay with Emu being an actual devil that created the devil fruits. I'm okay with Emu maybe being like the first devil fruit user or something like that. But Emu, just having eaten, like, this is just I guess not an ordinary devil fruit, but like the Akuma no Mi or something like that. Akuma devil fruit, you know? Hi, can you do a 20-minute video talking about Charlos? Sure, I'll write that down. I'll put that in the queue. 20-minute Charlos video. Do you want that to be funny or serious? Do you want me to go through the entire video talking about how all the horrible things that happened to Charlos and he was wronged and how dare Luffy punch him in the face? He was just trying to shoot somebody in the head. I mean, come on now, Luffy. If Emu represents the sea, a devil fruit might not work. See, that's what I was just mentioning that earlier. You might have just come in. I was saying that earlier, like my original idea for Emu was like Mother Ocean, but now the more I'm looking at it, Emu clearly does not care about utilizing devil fruit abilities or, having people on the payroll that have devil fruit abilities. And when talking to Cobra, did not mention the devil fruits at all. Like, those damn devil fruits are a sin to my dominion or something like that. So I don't think Emu is Mother Ocean now. I think Mother Ocean, I don't even know if Mother Ocean might show up as a character, but not that, not on Emu. And now that we learn, actually, and that was before we knew about the Harley and we knew about the mural and everything when I was thinking about that. That was back when we thought, like, Void Century was kind of the key to all this. Like, if we just get the Void Century flashback, everything will make sense. No, Void Century was literally in between 2 and 3, the second and third worlds. We still have all the rest of the second world that we don't know about. And then we have, I guess, the transition period between first and second, and then the first. I mean, like, so there's so much more before this that we don't even know. Let's be brutally honest. Oda doesn't need an excuse. He made dinosaurs fly like helicopters. He doesn't need mythical fruits to do weird shit. That is true, but he still is staying consistent with his story. All right? Like, he's not just going to give, like, I'll give a devil fruit that, like, he does play by the rules of the devil fruits, even with Katakuri. Katakuri originally had a Logia, it was stated, and then I think Oda was like, no, that actually doesn't make any sense from the rules of Logias that I've set. It's being consistent is the thing. Yes, Oda is the author. He could sit down and create whatever ability he wants, but you got to stay consistent, which is why with all the crazy abilities with Emu here at this point, I'm thinking beyond devil fruit abilities. Oh, man. Let's talk about, like, okay, so how to reverse this, right? Like, so the only person that can use this technique purportedly, I mean, it is Emu. I don't think any of the Gorosei could use this power. This seems to be something, because Emu personally possessed Gunko to go to Elbaf to do this shit, which pretty much says right there, Emu's the only one that can use the Domai Reversa technique, you know, like the reversal technique, right? So I'm assuming if they use that technique again and flipped Dory and Bragi once again, they would go back to normal. Right. But Emu's not going to do that because Emu's like evil, right? Okay. So how else are you going to fix this? How else would you fix this? Can you do, does anybody have the reversing mirror from Xiaolin Showdown? Does anybody have the reversing mirror? That would do it. I've seen that with Wuya. That would work. Nami pulls out reversing mirror. Psh, Emu turns good, and then everything's fine. Nika and Bonnie can reverse it. They are the White Stones. Maybe. Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, it's going to involve Luffy, I would assume, right? Oh, there's another big one I got to bring up here in a second. But there, yes. So that their powers have something. I don't know about Bonnie, but Luffy, yes, having the actual power of the Sun God would have some role to play here. But I don't know, like, Luffy drawing can. Wait a minute. Can Luffy draw magic circles? He just didn't fucking know he could up until now. Oh my god. Luffy. I swear to God, if Luffy is fighting against, like, Emu jump, okay, Luffy and Loki and Zoro and Sanji and everybody, they jump up to the Sun Lair, and Luffy's like, what's going on, everybody? And all the Straw Hats are chained up. It's like, where the fuck were you this entire time? It's like, we were down in the primordial world having a banquet. Like, you fight them! And it's just like, okay, like Nami just points over to Emu, like, whoa! And then Luffy's like, oh, okay, I guess I have to fight that person. Okay. Luffy goes into Gear 5th, and then there's like, what's going on with Dory and Bragi? Why are they fighting us? And Nami's like, I don't know, that person's drawing magic circles. And Luffy's like, magic circles? Like what? Like you just do this? Vroom! And then Luffy draws a magic circle. Like, how the fuck can you do that? It's like, I don't know. And just like, okay. But the downside, Luffy's dumb. Oh, man. Luffy can make magic circles, but Luffy's dumb. Oh, dude, that would be such a funny twist. Okay. All right, let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, yeah, Luffy's only limitation is what he can think of. So, yeah, he probably could legitimately do magic. The whole point of his ability. Oh, yeah, pause for a moment right here. Joy Boys Hockey could nullify it. No, it doesn't. Joy Boys Hockey does not reverse it. Joy Boys Hockey in the hockey nuke in Emmett, it knocked the Gorosei out of their forms. It did not make them good or like negate their devil fruit powers permanently or something like that. I don't know if that would work. But it would definitely hurt. But I don't know if it would like reverse the effects. Luffy cannot draw. Yeah, that would be so funny. Imagine Luffy. Okay, he can spawn objects and stuff. He made the goggles out of the hair. He picked up the tree and made a baseball bat, right? What if Luffy pulls out like a paintbrush or a pencil and he starts trying to write like he draws like a really half-assed like star circle? It looks like shit. It looks so bad. It looks like a first grader tried to draw like a magic circle, like the 5-pointed star or whatever, and it looks so bad, but it still works. It's like, it's good enough. It works. It can reverse things. Oh, dude. That is, okay, that actually is a good point. You assume the Gorosei were good at any point. That assumes, like, that's the whole idea. See, I guess the Dome reverse eye technique, and I mentioned this in the review, would not have to be... Holy shit, we have like 1,200 people in here right now. That would not have to be used on like the Celestial Dragons because they were evil from the beginning. Like, I don't think Summers had the reversal technique done on him. Gunko probably did, knowing that we know Gunko didn't originally come from the Celestial Dragon, like from Marijois, and she was born somewhere else in the world, and she was friends with Brooke and stuff, so doubtful that she was like evil. So the reversal technique was probably used on Gunko, but the reversal technique on like Dory and Bragi does like gave them fangs and horns and like evil gleams in their eyes and stuff like that. You know, so it really does seem like everybody is getting different abilities from this, which I kind of like. Like they're interpreting the powers differently depending on their own personalities and stuff. You know, like maybe Dory and Bragi are channeling into the raw power of the ancient giants, right? So that's why they took the forms they did. Maybe the reason Gunko has heterochromia is because when the power went over, like it didn't mesh well because she could still kind of remember her past life occasionally. What if Luffy just draws the kanji for good and then, yeah, okay, once again, the kanji for good. What's the kanji for good look like, and can Luffy draw that? Okay. Kanji for good. Oh, that's that might be tricky. That might be tricky. There's hold on a minute. Let me actually, like, that's like there's different meanings for good. Like good as in that's an okay, good job with that, or you know, fine. I guess that's okay. Hold on a second. What is the kanji for good? As in the opposite to evil. Okay. Oh god, this one. Oh no, this one's a little complicated. This one might be a little bit complicated. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can. Let me put it. I'll open Word. Hold on. Just do that. Put that in there. I mean, it's not okay. It's not that complicated looking at it this way. There's just a lot of lines to it. I finally made a stream. Hello, Daddy. There's like multiple people in this stream named Daddy right now. Okay, this is what, okay, could Luffy draw this? Can Luffy draw this? It's really not that hard when you look at it this way. It's basically just 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, one down, and then a box. That's it. And then a rectangle. I don't know. I don't. Hell no. Nope. He could. It would just be bad. Yeah, it would just be very badly done. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's like Luffy could draw anything. Luffy could draw a smiley face, and that would be good enough to reverse the power because it's like the intention behind the circle you're drawing. Emu is a drama queen, so Emu's drawing the 5-pointed, like, I actually have that one ready. I actually made up a version of that. The abyss symbol. Like, Emu's all dramatic and everything, so Emu's going to draw that. You know, but Luffy might just need something a little bit easier to just, like, you know, smiley face, here you go. Yes, Luffy can read. Luffy's not so dumb he's like, he can't read. He can read. He definitely can read. He would get tripped up on some polysyllabic words, I think, but he could still read. Yeah. What if Luffy ate the flatulence fruit? God. All right, hold on. Let me go through the super chats really quick just to make sure I didn't forget any of these. All right, what do we got here? Do you think Oda could come up with any more Logias with new rules being super specific? I think there are still a few elements. I don't think he has to change the rules with the rules being super specific. I think like a mercury Logia could work, like a liquid metal Logia. I think a blood Logia could work. There could even be a water Logia or some other kind of liquid like we see in movies. Like, if Oda used stuff from the movies repurposed, which he has before, like, Sparrow's candy fruit is kind of like Gasparde's Ame Ame no Mi, or Ami Ami no Mi, except, Gasparde's was a Logia, Sparrow's was a Paramecia, but it's like the same basic logic. Like, if Oda wants to take Honey Queen's Logia from the second movie and then repurpose it into, like, a jelly fruit, then, yeah, I'd be all right with that. I don't think that would be a problem necessarily. Do you think Shamrock would have a problem with Gunko being possessed like this, or would he not care? Really getting the impression that Shamrock would not give a shit. Shamrock is a commander of the Gods Knights and works under Imu and the Gorosei. I'm pretty sure once you get to that status in the Gods Knights, like, look at all the horrible shit that's going on right now, and Killingham and Summers are kind of just like, yes, boss, we'll do that. Like, they're not fazed at all by this. I mean, they're fazed in the way that they don't want to disappoint their boss, or their lord. But, yeah, I guess they would maybe referring to Emu as boss is a little strange. Maybe Lord might have been better. I'd have to go look if they used Sama. Probably Emu-sama, or like, oh, I'm sorry, Lord. Yes, the MMAs can be re-energized whenever. They're like the Energizer Bunny. Anytime we can just turn them back on, yeah. I don't think Shamrock... We didn't really see Shamrock have any particular affinity for Gunko. We didn't see Shamrock, like, it was like, oh, it's okay, Gunko, you can make it through this, or anything like that, so I don't think he would care. Let's see, I answered that one. 20-minute video on Charlos. Fish fruit. Are you sure Emu and Marijwa is their real body? Yeah, I'm thinking that's the real body. I don't know if it is a body at this point, but it might be their main form, yeah. What color do you think Emu Gunko hair reveal? We talked about that. Cut and paste devil fruits, I talked about that. If Oda was playing Baldur's Gate 3 when writing this chapter... I mean, like, I mean, there is a really cool song in Baldur's Gate 3 about devils, but I don't know if that was the particular reference. Like I said, like, oh, by the way, I've also never played Cuphead, but a lot of people have been saying, like, this is a Cuphead boss fight. Like, Gunko pulling out a giant double-barreled shotgun and shooting Broggy. Like, that's Cuphead. I still gotta play that. Blackbeard's Devil Fruit is I haven't read this one, is a downgraded version of Emu's, and that's why he wanted it and is aiming to control the world. I feel like Rox and Blackbeard kind of want the same thing here at this point, and Rox found out Emu existed and wanted the power for himself, which maybe that's why Emu doesn't go down from the Holy Land very much. Maybe Emu is like, oh my god, people start noticing I have god power, and the next thing they do, they want to try... Oh, that's actually smart. Okay, hold on. Put a pin in that. I'm going to get back to that in a moment. Actually, no, I'll just talk about it now so I don't forget. Okay, so why is Emu like a secret ruler and is not going out there in the world and just like making everybody evil and whatever like that? Well, that would take time. Like, you can't just do that all at once, right? You can't Domi reverse eye the entire planet, although maybe you could. What if, what if back in the day, Emu was maybe more hands-on about all this? But then people started noticing Emu's power and was like, I want that power for myself. And some people, like Rox, are actually strong enough that they might be able to actually kill Emu and take their power. And Emu wants to keep their power. So they're like, all right, the more that I'm out there showing off my strength, the more people realize I have this strength and they want it. And Emu and the Gorosei even talk about humans, like, oh, why do humans get so uppity and try to reach for things beyond what they can actually handle, right? Like, so something like that, like humans need to know their place kind of thing, right? That's what Emu and the Gorosei talk about. And so what if that is the situation? Like there was a run-in with, maybe Rox fought Emu a while ago and it was like, ah, oh, shit, all right, I got to be careful how I show off my powers. You know what I mean? It may be something like that, yeah. In Game of Thrones, Robert was destroyed by the trap of ruling. He was a warrior, not a king. Maybe Emu just knows better. Emu has no interest in being a king, just power. No responsibility, only defends the throne. Could be that too, but there are so many really strong characters in One Piece. And so, yeah, maybe Emu actually did have a few instances in the last 800 years. Like, maybe Emu fought Ryuma. Maybe Emu fought Rocks. And it was like, oh shit, they're strong. Like, strong enough to actually maybe kill me. Emu might have fought, okay, Emu fought Joy Boy. Emu might have won that battle, but it might have been a tough battle. Might have come really close to Emu dying there. It could have went either way. Devils and gods. Yeah, opposite of Luffy's freedom. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. There was a lot of running references with the rules back in the Davy back. Yeah. Interesting comparisons to the Davy back, actually. I've read about this. Will Emu and Luffy meet in Elbaf? I mean, yeah, I feel like at this point they're definitely going to come face to face or face from Gunko's like proxy. We talked about Queen. Maybe Emu has multiple devil fruits. We talked about that. Suru used her fruit after Domi reversed. Oh, Suru's laundry fruit. Maybe that could work. I feel like it would come down to a battle of hockey at that point. Like, okay, your devil fruit's stronger than my devil. Your devil fruit reverses my devil fruit, but I have stronger hockey, so you know, it's kind of like that. I feel like that's the way that would go down if Suru tried to use her power on Emu. I don't think Emu... Actually, that would be a cool scene, though, to see Suru trying to wash out Emu's, like, evil, but it just, like, you can add all the detergent and bleach you want. It's not going to clean out that fabric, you know? It's just too tainted. Broggy's new axe is a Black Blade. It might have the same level of that, sure. I don't know if Black Blade in the typical technique, but yeah. I think I read all of these already. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there is, Netflix Totem is a whole thing with the new season of the live action. So that's probably going to be a trailer and the announcement of the date for the, when it's being released. I'm assuming that's what this is going to be. Yeah, I'm probably not going to stream it or anything, but I will watch it and probably make a video about it, yeah, depending on what it is. Okay, I think I answered all these. All right, let's go back to regular chats here and see what people are saying here. Go back here a little bit. I mean, I guess it's definitely Gunko's body because Gunko has the memories of Brook and everything. So I think it is actually her body, yeah. What happened to the rest of Big Mom's crew in Wano? They apparently were there, and the Cypherpool Zero agent that didn't die, the one that was left, I think his name was Joseph, he ran into them, and it was like he was reporting to, I think, Akainu or somebody. It's just like, oh no, it's Big Mom, Chip, and then like transmission went off, so they don't really know what happened. I'm assuming they picked up Big Mom and maybe Kaido, and they left. Like, I don't think Big Mom and Kaido are still in the volcano. Like, we make jokes about that, but I think Big Mom's crew actually rescued them, and they're, like, severely wounded right now. Yeah. That and political power inspires rebellions and assassination attempts. I mean, that's going to happen no matter what when you have any kind of, like, government that's a world government, right? Like, even if Dragon never knew about Emu, and yet the revolution was still happening. So I think, though, that might be just, like, Emu stays in the back and lets the Gorosei handle it. Because, like the odds of, like, Dragon's rebellion, like, think about all the things that a rebellion would have to fight through before they even get to Marijois, right? Like, they'd have to deal with the Marines, and then they'd have to deal with Cypherpole, and then they'd have to deal with the Warlords back when the Warlords were a thing, and now they have to deal with the SSG, and they fight their way up, and then they have to deal with Cypherpole Aegis Zero, and then they have to deal with Kong, and then they have to deal with the Admirals, and then they finally, after all that shit, and then the Gods Knights, and then they start dealing with the Gorosei, and like, how many layers and walls of protection until any kind of rebellion finally makes its way all the way to Emu? Like, it would take like 7 or 8 layers before you finally get to Emu, and Emu's like, okay, fine, I guess I have to do something, right? Like, okay, yeah. So do you think Gunko is actually remembering maybe her mother's memories? Because it doesn't make sense that she hasn't aged, but Garling has. See, that's the thing, though. There is, like, a conflict with this either way. I think there's different abilities that you get. I don't think it's like they all get the exact same set of powers down to the exact bullet point. You know what I mean? Like, it really does seem like the powers that Emu gives off, they're the same maybe ability. Like, okay, how to phrase this exactly? Emu gives devil power to these people, And depending on the person and their personality and who they are, that person, that devil power manifests in different forms, is the best way to say it. Dory and Bragi were giants. They tap into the ancient evil giant power, and that's how that manifests. That's not how it manifested for Summers, where it's like Summers has the same immortality ability. He can regenerate. He doesn't have like bat wings and devil horns and everything like that. Summers just has like the immortality regeneration ability kind of thing, right? Yeah. Gotta put down that, you gotta pay the troll toll for the soul. Yeah. If Emu grants powers and immortality to his subjects, but they have to pay a price for them, and the devil fruits are manifestations of desires, so in order to defeat Emu, should you embrace desire or reject? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what do you do when you're confronted with... Okay, you're confronted with Emu Gunko, and they offer power to you. What do you do? I already know where this is going, but what do you do? Emu real name. Moo. Yes, it means, in Latin, it means returned home, which has a bunch of different implications, right? Like, return back to your primal evil state or something. Like, I don't know what that means. Or the way things... Wait a minute. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Let me pull up the Harley. I love how, like, at this point in the story, we have to let me consult the holy text. Like, I literally have to do that now. Let me consult the holy text. Oh, dude, you know what I should do? I should... Arthur has, like, a very, like, well-done translation of the Harley. I should, like, make a little book, of, like, put the Harley in there and, like, actually have it as a prop of, like, this is the holy text of One Piece, and I can go through it. But let me pull up the Harley real quick here. I bet anyone can learn Conqueror's Hockey, and it's just propaganda that certain people... Well, I wouldn't say propaganda because, like, Rayleigh was the one... Like, this is, like, a mystical ability that's focused on your ambition. Rayleigh doesn't, like, work for big hockey or something like that, right? Like, Rayleigh knows how hockey works. Roger, he was on Roger's career. He knows how hockey works. It's like a discipline, right? And so if he told Luffy about how hockey works, I think that's how hockey works, right? I don't think it's, like, anybody can learn it. I think anybody can learn... You have to have a certain, like, mindset and discipline, and some people just don't have that, okay? And if you just don't have it, then you're not going to be able to unlock Conqueror's Hockey. Yeah. Yeah, everyone could, but not everyone can. If you have a certain personality and you're just stuck in, like, a certain funk, as it were, you're just never unlocking Conqueror's Hockey. Like Kuro. If Kuro stays in his, like, dejected, like, I don't want to be a pirate, he's not going to unlock Conqueror's Hockey. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me read on the second world really quick. I'm curious about the second world. Within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Those of the half-moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. Okay. So what if... Shit seems pretty fucked up in the second world, right? I mean, shit seems pretty bad in the first world, too, because that seems basically like hell. This doesn't seem great in the second world either. What if returned home means in the context of return to the second world? Return, because that would be the time that Emu would have been, like, active, I guess. That was, like, on the precipice between the second and third world. The Void Century is kind of like the transitionary period between those two worlds. So, like, yeah, what if it's, like, return to the way things were back then? Back when the sun spread the fires of war. Okay, this is so obvious. I am almost certain somebody already said this before. There's so many different depictions of Nika. There's a good version of him where he is like God of liberation and hope, and then there's an evil version of him where he is fires of war. Nika, Domi Reversi. It flipped. It flipped. It happened. There it is. There it is. That's why there's conflicting shit. I brought up in the review, could Emu use this on Luffy? And you would assume no, because that would be so broken to just turn the main character evil. But... Or Nika is Emu. Oh! Oh, yeah. Like Emu right now is literally not just like a devil fruit that's the antithesis. Same ability, just flipped. Or the actual god Nika, the actual sun god that got flipped evil. Adventure time. Come on, grab your friends. Unrelated, but what am I eating for lunch? I literally woke up, cleaned up my game room because I have some friends coming down tonight, and now I had a little power bar, and now I immediately let's do the review, not the review. Let's do the stream. Let's get this done. But then who flipped Nika? There was another god in the first realm. Okay, wait. No. The original sun god Nika was in the first realm, and then flipped Emu in the second realm, and then Emu is here gonna flip Luffy in the third realm. It's like, it just all the way goes back, like infinite regress. It's like, who created the universe? Well, the universe couldn't have started itself. Yeah, God, but then who created God? Well, God doesn't need a creator. It's like, yeah, but kind of special pleading with that. I don't know, but it just keeps going back and back and back and back into that fucking paradox. Yeah, it just keeps going. Nikaception. I had lasagna, street tacos. I was thinking Mexican. There's a good Mexican restaurant in town. I was thinking about that, yeah. Dragon could be called a destroyer and wanting to spark war. Oh, no, same deal. Oh, dude, this adds so many different layers to this. What if Dragon was Domi Reverse-Eyed? What if Shanks was Domi Reverse-Eye? I mentioned the evil Straw Hats. What if one of the Straw Hats turns evil? Okay, if one of the Straw Hats turned evil, who could it be? Robin. Maybe not permanently, and maybe that is reversed by the end of the arc. Maybe not even by the end of the... Oh, dude. Okay. That would raise stakes so bad. Usopp too. Okay. That would raise the stakes of this so bad. People talk about the Straw Hats dying. What if one of them turns evil and is a villain in the following saga? So it's not like Usopp and Robin leaving the crew or Sanji leaving the crew. We've done that before, and I think to Oda's credit, he's done that well every time he did it. When Usopp left, there was a good reason for it. They had the fight. Robin left because of another reason outside of her own power. It wasn't really her decision to do that. I mean, it was, but she was forced into an ultimatum on why Robin left. Then Sanji also same deal. He was forced into an arranged marriage. He had to leave. I don't think Oda should do that anymore. I don't think Oda should do the I don't know, Jinbei is like, I'm done being on the crew, anything like that. But if Oda flipped one of the Straw Hats and made them evil, and that carried over into the following arc where the Straw Hats now have to save one of their friends, and that also gives them... I mean, Dory and Bragi are their friends too. They have to figure out a way to reverse it for Dory and Bragi. But if Usopp was turned evil, or if Nami was turned evil, and they went over to the other side and joined the world government, holy shit. Then the Straw Hats are like, oh, you done fucked up now. We're going to find a way to save our friend, right? Emu is the right way to say the name. I was saying Em for the longest time, and I got into it. I'm trying to start saying Emu because that is how you are supposed to say their name. Yeah. In some Japanese words and names, the U sound might be kind of small and kind of like hard to miss. So sometimes it's really easy to hear a name and it just doesn't end in that, right? And so it's like, oh, you just cut off the U, but it is there. Yeah, with Emu, it is there. Yeah. Going full Ragnar. Also, why do you play do you play Warhammer? I don't play Warhammer. I do not. So he's bad to the bone. All right, I'll play a little bit of the song just because I love the opening of that song. Usopp. Everyone's shitting on Usopp, right? Usopp hasn't done anything in this arc. Watch Usopp get Domai Reverse Eye, and then boom, comes out, and it's just like... Oh, and then Emu gives him a shotgun. That's how Usopp finally used guns. Oh. What happens if Blackbeard is Domai reverse-eyed? What happens if somebody already evil is Domai reverse-eyed? Would it turn them good if it was used on Blackbeard? Yeah. Blackbeard becomes Whitebeard. Whitebeard becomes Blackbeard. It changes the color of their facial hair. That would be great. What if you're true neutral? Who's the most true neutral? Hold on a minute. I'm going to chat GPT this. I just want to curious. Okay. In regards to alignment, who is the most true neutral character in One Piece? All right, what does ChatGPT say, and what do we say? The most true neutral in One Piece is, I got Mihawk. It's saying Mihawk. Yeah. No, Kuma is not true neutral. I don't know what this is saying. Kuma is not true neutral. Yeah. Mihawk. Yeah, Mihawk might actually be the most true neutral character in One Piece. He walks the middle path, not out of apathy, but because he chose not to involve himself unless it suits him. Yeah, Mihawk can be very neutral. Yeah, I don't think, Law I wouldn't say is true neutral. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's possible that, like, it's reversed on Mihawk, and Mihawk just comes out, like, the same, basically. He's the same. Zeph is true neutral. His restaurant feeds anybody. That is true. That is true. Yeah, does Emu? Yeah, Emu seems to be able to control them. Like, they're thralls. Like, the Emu is the devil of restraint and control. Seems to be the idea, yeah. Da-na-na-na-na-na. It's always hard to get into discussions when it comes to alignments because, yeah, there's a lot of different interpretations of, like, what the criteria for chaotic good is. And be like, yeah, but then there's the right way to view chaotic good. But you'll always have so many different... That's why the alignment system in D&D can be tricky. We don't really focus on it too much. Like, we'll write it down when we do our characters and stuff, but we're not usually going to focus on it too bad. Like, your character wouldn't do that unless it's something really crazy. Like, you're playing a lawful good character, and it's like, I'm going to go murder the entire town. It's like, okay, you are lawful good, though. That is a little strange. But, like, I don't think it's ever really come up in any of my games that I've played. You know. Yeah, but Mihawk probably is the best example of that. Yeah. Why does Emu talk like oldie-timey Shakespeare? Because Emu's from, like, the Void Century, and that's the greatest comparison. Who was that character? Remember Sekirei? Remember the anime Sekirei? I remember watching that back when I was in college. There was a character in Sekirei that was the water one, and she also spoke in, like, in the Japanese, she spoke in, like, an old, like, Edo or, like, Sengoku era dialect, and in English they changed that. Skumi, I think her name was. And yeah, it was the blonde one, yeah. And in English they just changed it to her talking about, like, these and thous, you know, like talking in that kind of way. Skumi, yeah, that was her. Yeah. Yeah, blonde hair, huge boobs, controlled water. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. The two powers. Ooh. What if Emu's iconic laugh is moo, 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 moo? Then the Emu just sound like a cow then. Moo, 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 moo. Out of Loki, Bonnie, Lilith, Yamato, or Gunko, like, joining the Straw Hats next, who would I want to see join, like, by the end of Elbaf? Probably... Actually, you know what? Gunko. Bonnie's gone through so much with Kuma and everything. I think Bonnie and Kuma just need to stay, like, together for right now and just have somewhat of, like, a peaceful time where they're not about to die, you know? Loki, I think, is going to go off and maybe do his own thing. Yamato still in the middle of their cover story. Lilith needs to stay on Elbaf, I think. And I think Lilith's going to show back up again in the final battle or the epilogue with Vegapunk's clone. Like, that stuff's going to be put on standby for right now. And then at the end of, like much later in the story, that's when Lilith shows back up again. And, like, I have Vegapunk's clone. Hey, everybody, Quasar, I'm back. You know, it's going to be something like that. So Gunko. Let's just go with Gunko. Yeah. Yeah, Bonnie needs to live her childhood, which is going to be difficult. But, yeah. The cover story is not done. The cover story is not done. When the cover story is done, Oda will say, like, final installment of the cover story. Yeah, it just says, Oni Child Yamato, Volume 34, Yasuie's sword was laid to rest. That was part of Yamato's journey, was to lay Yasu's sword back at the Enma Shrine, but Yamato still has to visit Hakumai, still has to deliver the Amagasa, the Kasa hat to Kawamatsu, who is the daimyo of Hakumai, and also needs to visit Ringo, who probably Okiku would be that, the daimyo of Ringo, and then has to also return. So yeah, this is not the final. This is not the final part. No. Probably not going to get to fan mail today, Amanda. Sorry. We'll get to it. We will get to it at some point. I'm sorry. I thought it said end on the cover. No, it just says the pilgrimage is complete. That was part of the reason to go. But that's not the end. That's not the end. If that is the end, I will eat my tie. When Imu uses Domi Reversai, Zoro, he will gain power, but he will not become evil because he's just going to get lost halfway. That would be funny. Yeah, it doesn't work. There's definitely more on Yamato's trip. Yamato hasn't even been to, like, just got to Hakumai and hasn't even been to Ringo yet. So yeah, there's more on the trip. I look like Bellamy with a beard. I'll take it. So much in this chapter. So at the end, we have Imu controlling an entire army of evil giants. And, oh, by the way, the MMAs are back. I was like, oh, hey, can you just bring back the MMAs except stronger and more evil? And Killingham's like, oh, absolutely. So now what do we do? Where do we go from here? Jarl is going to fight. Oh, by the way, I said this as I'm serious. I said this as a fucking joke in the review that Jarl turned evil and then stabbed himself in order to prevent it. The more I think about that, I'm settling on that. I'm going with it because it does make sense. If he was turned evil, has the immortality to regenerate, he stabbed a sword in his head. That's why the sword isn't killing him. But if he removes it, he goes back to being evil. What are the MMAs? The MMAs are the Mumas. They're the term for the nightmare creatures that show up. Yeah. Yes, there is live action news today as well. Yes. The sword is a lobotomy, yeah. People have also said, what if Harald turned evil? Harald was a good, kind king. He was Domi Reverseyed, and then Jarl was Domi Reverseyed, and then stabbed himself in the head to stop it. And then Loki showed up and like, Father, you're evil now. And then that's why Loki had to kill him. It all makes sense now that you got this fucking yin and yang bullshit going on. Yin yo-yo, yang yo-yo. Another Xiaolin Showdown reference. All of the references. Yes, we're going to go through the super chats. You read my mind. Let's go super chats. Okay. When Imu uses Domi Reversai on Zoro, he will gain power but not become evil. I could actually legitimately see that happening, and it would not be upsetting. It would make perfect sense for the character. If Imu does it to Usopp, Usopp would pull a mirror and reverse it back to Imu. Imu turns evil. That is the reversing mirror. Imu goes from evil to good. There we go. Not really related to One Piece, but is Rustage and the others a part of Isekai D&D going to do another campaign? Rustage is going to do another campaign. I hesitate to... He's told me some ideas. I hesitate to tell any of them because, like, I don't know how much he wants to keep, like, you know, a surprise for when he does it. But he has thrown... Actually, I think he pretty much has settled on the next one it's going to be. I don't know if he's already publicly announced that, though, so I'm going to, you know, keep that. But, you know, I would be part of it, I'm pretty sure. And so, yeah, it would be fun. It's going to be fun. I don't know when it's going to happen. And also, the Vestoria card game's coming out soon. So that's also going to be like the next big thing. Who do you think each Straw Hats and allies will fight in the final arc? Plus, changed my name and forgot it was Daddy. There we go, Kiko. Okay, so I mean, like we have a pretty good lineup for the Blackbeard Pirates. Like Usopp's gonna fight Van Augur, Shiryu's gonna fight Zoro, Katarina Devon is gonna fight Nami because she hunts like beautiful women. Maybe Robin and Nami together. Maybe Luffy's gonna fight Blackbeard. Like obviously, that's a pretty much good comparison there. But in terms of like final battle now, like because there's so many groups in One Piece, that's crazy. You got the Gorosei, you got the God's Knights, you got yes, you do have Blackbeard's crew, you have the admirals, you have the top ranking Marines and stuff, and the vice admirals and stuff. Smoker's got to fight somebody, right? You got to give Smoker an opponent. Who can? Okay, final epic war. Everybody's there. Like everybody that's not currently dead in this story that can fight is there in this final war. Who's the strongest character that makes sense for Smoker to fight? We got to give him somebody to fight, all right? He's got to fight someone. This is a more powerful version of Miss Golden Week's paint. It kind of is, except hers is more like hypnotism ability, kind of like Django's ability to hypnotize people. This is obviously messing with like your soul, your essence kind of thing. Answered that one. I think we got all these. Yeah, we answered these ones before. Okay. Go back to the live chat here. Let's see here. Okay. Smoker versus Crocodile. Ooh, I don't know about that. I think Smoker could beat Arlong with very minimal problem. I don't think that would be an issue. Smoker versus Doflamingo. You still missed mine. All right, Drip. I'll go back in a second. I just want to read these really quick. Drip. All right. I'll get you. Buggy versus Smoker would be funny. Do you think Dragon will show up in Elbaf? No, I don't think Dragon's going to show up. If Dragon shows up in Elbaf, it'd be like, where the fuck are you? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be doing something else right now. He could fight Kid's impersonator. Actually, Smoker could just fight Kid if he's still alive. There we go. The bear from Drum Island. We gotta give Smoker someone to fight. All right, let me read your super chat there, Drip, before I forget. All right, what do we got here? Drip, right here. I just read that one. Yeah, this is the powerful version of Miss Golden Week's paint. Luffy got turned evil. Now the Giants. This is reverse side. Magic circles equal paint palette. Yeah, there's definitely a comparison. Like I said, though, I think it's just more of her ability. And her ability's always been so weird. Django's ability was actually given like an explanation on why he can do it. It's a weird explanation. It's like he ate a magic mushroom and now he can hypnotize people. Miss Golden Week's just apparently has magic paint that can do this. Like the Marianne is her real name. And it's like, how does this work? If it loops back somehow being related to this, that would be such a deep cut, but like I'd be okay with it. Yeah. Unless there was another message you sent. Let me know if there was. Yeah. Magic. It's fucking magic. When Cavendish lost his character, his eyes... Oh, okay. So the eye thing, yeah. You get controlled means those eyes. So Oda does that a lot. Like the eyes, the ringed eyes, like the Rinnegan thing. I did a whole video about this once because as soon as Emu showed up with the eyes, everyone was like, that's Mihawk. Like that was an actual theory back then. You know, Mihawk is Emu because of the eyes. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Anytime Oda wants to draw a character that's like having a moment of shock or a moment of surprise or a moment of like intensity, he'll draw eyes like that usually. He's even drawn it on like Nami and Usopp before, I think. It's not something that's like uncommon. Now, granted, Emu always has those eyes, which kind of always lends an air of like intensity, you know? Yeah. Do you think we will ever see Kid this arc, or is he just dead? You know, if Kid was going to be, like, still alive on Elbaf, I think the best place to put him would have been in the Primordial Realm, like, in the cloaks, like, in, like Loki's retinue. Like, maybe he was, like there, like, their their crew, some of their crews survived the Kid pirates, and they pulled the bodies of Killer and Kid on shore, and they're all banged up and wounded, and they're trying to keep them alive, and they're like teaming up with Loki's little group of like washed up sailors and like prisoners and pirates and stuff. I think that would be probably the best place to put them, and they were not there. So I guess maybe they could still show up. They could be hiding somewhere. There's a lot of places to hide in Elbaf, granted. Or they could have also been in the Lego City as well. You could have seen them put in the Lego City. They weren't there either. So, like, I don't know if this is... I don't know if Kid's actually dead here. All right. Emu pulled out the book like the leader of the Phantom Troops. Oh, wait. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second here. Real quick, just a quick check. Can you still hear me? It's like an audio thing. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, good. Just wanted to double check on that. I was gonna do a gag, but okay, hold on. I guess I have to pull that up. I'll just pull it up on YouTube. That's easier. Okay. All right, hold on a minute. Behold, Emu's power. It's a cookbook. Dude, I love that. Tekking has legs. I have legs. Yes. Thoughts on the Black Clover comparison? I can't say with absolutely like a non-zero chance that Oda was like maybe went up to Tabata. I that's an interesting question, you know, like what happens when like a mangaka sees something in another manga in Shonen Jump or in another magazine, actually, because it got moved, Black Clover did. I think it's in like Jump Giga now or something like that. Like what happens when like a mangaka sees that and like, oh man, that looks really cool. I kind of want to do that for mine. Like in Black Clover, they go to Wano. Like they go to the land, like Asta ends up going to the land of the sun and it's Wano, right? Like it's Japan, but it's Wano. And this was like right at the, I think the tail end of, or right around the time when Wano was winding down in One Piece that Asta goes there. Right? So, like, I wonder if it's a thing where Oda and Tabata, like, talk and just be like, hey, I really like Wano. I kind of want to do an arc like that in Black Clover. Cool. I really like the devil thing. I think I'm going to do something like that in One Piece, too. You know, like, yeah, I wonder if it's just like that and they just talk about it and stuff. It's just like, you're not stealing anything. It's just like, it's a cool aesthetic. It's like, yeah, it's cool aesthetic. I want to have a devil in One Piece that pulls out an evil grimoire and pulls guns and shit out of it. That sounds cool, Oda Sensei. You know, it's like, yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. I can see Oda praising Black Clover. It's a good series. It starts out very much like fairy tale crossed with Harry Potter, crossed with Naruto, but Tabata really comes into his own at a certain point. Like it's almost like the series has to like play paint by numbers at the beginning, so it doesn't like it's good for marketing for Shonen Jump, and it's like, oh, we know this, we can market this, and then at a certain point when it gets enough like fans and it's like, okay, it's gonna stay in the magazine, at that point you can kind of go off and do whatever you want with it. You can make it more unique and special. Yeah. Why do you have a 4-star Dragon Ball on your desk? Because of Toriyama. I put this up here when Toriyama passed away last year, and I just never took it down. So there's it's actually a nice little memorial to Akira Toriyama because he's like the greatest mangaka of like all time. Like it's like so many people in the West have to owe it to him to get into anime because so many people here started like back in the day there wasn't like a lot of anime. Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, that was kind of it. That was kind of it. Teching Vistoria is out now. Oh, I'm horrible at marketing. Okay, go check out the Isekai D&D Vistoria card game on sale now. Yeah, Pokemon too, but Dragon Ball was out before that. Sailor Moon was around then too, yeah. Fly high, Toriyama. Yeah. Well, there's only so many ideas too. It's not like Oda's going to be like, "Wow, I want Emu to be like a devil with like a tail and a pitchfork." Oh, Tabata already did that in Black Clover. All right, well, I can't use that idea. I can't use anything related to that idea. It's like, no, like that those concepts have existed in fiction and mythology for hundreds of years, thousands of years in some cases, you know what I mean? It's just like, don't make it the exact same thing and you're fine. If Broggy's axe turned black, do you think Ethan's sword turned black when Emu transformed? You know, I don't even really know what, because like it's a question about that, right? Like Odin was such a strong swordsman and yet did not make his blade a black blade. I don't even think Roger had a black blade. They could use armament hockey to make the swords, you know, like armament hockey it up. But like, who has a black sword, really, confirmed? Mihawk, Ryuma. That's it. That's all. How do you make these things into black swords? Oh, and then Ethan Barron, yeah. Yeah, and then the new one, yeah. Actually, hold on a minute. Let me check something out here. Kokuto. Let's see here. Black sword. We got Yoru and Shisui. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just Yoru and Shisui, guys, that are confirmed always to be black blades. Yep. Did Odin have a black blade? No, he didn't. That's the point. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, early anime, I remember starting. We're winding down at this point. We go usually for about an hour and a half, but yeah, we could kind of more just talk here. But yeah, my first anime that I remember seeing was probably Dragon Ball Z or Yu Yu Hakusho. Pokemon was not on like a station that we had at the time. That came a little later. But yeah, it was probably one of those two. Surprise, Griffin isn't a black blade. Ace, which is Roger's sword, was not a black blade. Whitebeard's Murakumo Giri was not a black blade, or a black Bicento, I guess. Roger's blade is a black blade, according to the Vivre cards. Well, then there was some miscommunication somewhere. Because it's not a black blade in the anime here. This could be wrong. But, yeah. You know what? I did not watch Inuyasha until a lot later. You know, that's just in the anime. That could be a mess up, but, like, yeah. I feel like Rogers should be, right? Like, Rogers absolutely should be. Oh, Freakazoid. I remember Freakazoid. Freakazoid. Chimpanzee. I don't think, I mean, like, I feel like if Kid was going to show up, oh my God. Is that going to be the twist? Is that going to be the twist? We have this giant army of evil giants led by evil Dorian Broggy with their brand new weapons. A huge army of nightmare creatures stomping through the area. God's Knights, you know, Summers is getting back up. Killingham isn't even hurt yet. Killingham's still at, you know, 100 HP. Gunko is Emu. And then at the last minute, Eustace Kid arrives with his railgun. Like, looks like you guys need some help. And everyone's like, everyone doesn't even pay attention. Like, he thinks it's such an epic, like, final double page spread, but it's like it's in the first page of the next chapter. Like, Kid shows up, like, I'm here to save the day. Oh, no. Yeah, we did not have Kids WB growing up in my house as a channel. My grandparents had it, so every weekend my dad would go, like, hunting. And so he would drop me off at my grandparents' house in the morning. So he and my grandfather would go hunting, and then I would be with my grandma, and I would watch Kids WB down their house, and that's where I would watch Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would watch Pokemon and all that stuff. Yep. Kid defeated Big Mom, and then he defeated Emu Gunko. Hey, this is Kid's revenge for Dorian Bragi for blowing up his ship. So yeah, I mean, maybe. Kept you waiting, huh? Everyone's like, and the Straw Hats look over and see them, and they're just like, I don't know. Killer walks over and maybe uses his. Could Killer break the arrow bandages that are holding the Straw Hats? Maybe Killer might. A regular knife is not going to do it, but Killer has those murder blades. He might be able to do it. I don't know. Do you think the Holy Knights are weakened when passing the Abyss to go somewhere? I refuse to believe that Usopp's attacks can actually blow someone's half off, even if he was surprised. I mean, it's a bomb. That's what it is. Like, they're not going to bother using armament hockey because they know they're just going to regenerate. It's, if you got hit with a bomb, you're going to blow up. There's just no point to protect it or defend against it. Yeah. I think we decided before that Damien was going to be the leader, because I didn't want to be the leader again after, like, me being William in Pirates. So I think we decided that, yeah, Damien would be the leader on this one. Liam, super chat. Yeah, I think I did read yours, but I will go back and check. We're going to be winding down here in a second. Thanks to everybody for showing up. We had over like 1,300 people in here right now. It's crazy. We had talked about a lot of stuff today. I thought Emu fight was going to be at Lodestar. I thought it was going to happen a lot later, too. That's the thing with Oda, though. He sets you up like, oh, Elbaf, magical, wonderful arc. By the way, all the things up until now, like the banquet and all the camaraderie, I was so happy with, like, finally, the Straw Hats are warmly welcomed in a country, and they're happy, and everyone's good and getting along. Oh, no, they turned evil! Like, that's... Damn it, Oda, you clever bastard. Okay. Let's see. Liam's message here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I don't think I read this one. Who's a random background character you think is actually strong but underrated and bro won't do much? Bogart. The answer to that question is Bogart, and won't do much ever again. Mine would be Fujitora is scared of the boss, and Sabo seems close. Yeah, Jiron, okay. Jiron just showed up. So we have we had like 2 appearances. So we actually have no idea. I guess, yes, he is a background character, but we just literally know nothing about the dude because he just showed up. He can apparently eat things. Like, he can eat like objects with his devil fruit ability, I'm assuming. But yeah, Jiron is cool. Fujitora is scared of his boss and him. I don't know if Fujitora is scared. Fujitora has creative differences with Akainu, but I don't think he was like necessarily scared of him. But yeah, Bogart is that answer because Bogart is awesome. He's been a background character for like the longest time too. Yeah, did you see the image of Bogart at God Valley? Oh God. They went hard with the drip on him that one. Oh yeah. Let's see if we got this here. They did not need to go that hard with him, but they did. See if this just goes over. No, it's all corrupted. Hold on a minute. Love Bogard. Look at that guy. Look at this guy. Oh, my Lord. So we don't actually know how old Bogard is. This was 38 years ago, and he looks kind of the same. He dresses the exact same as he does now. I always assumed Garp is 78. I always assumed Bogart was like in his 40s. That clearly cannot be the case. He's like, I don't know, like you could say he's like in his 60s, maybe late 50s. If he's, let's say he's 20 years younger than Garp, so he'd be 58. He'd be 20 here. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Probably like as Garp's first ever apprentice was Bogard, then Aokiji, then Kobe. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Dragon? I meant Garp. Garp is 78. God Valley was 38 years ago. We do not know about Bogard's age. I'm going to say if Bogard was 20 years younger than Garp, so he's 58, he would be 20 here, and I think that works. Yeah. The aura! Oh, he is around Dragon's age. Was it confirmed he was around Dragon's age? I don't think that was confirmed. But I could be wrong. There are other things to keep track of in this story. No, it just says he's over 38. That's all it does. It doesn't actually say anything. Because he was president at God Valley, but that's it. Yeah. Ah, Bogart. Yeah, we don't know his age. He might be around Dragon's age. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, okay. Another super chat. Gotcha. I'm just going to get all through those, or we'll be winding this down here in a second here. I'm going to go eat some lunch. Do you think some of Emu's power could be similar to Makima from Chainsaw Man? Also, Whoop Slap will kill Emu, confirmed. Yes, that will happen. We all know the conclusion of this story, but it's how we get there. It's the journey, Kiko. That's the journey, all right? Some of Emu's power could be similar to Makima, like the Control Devil. I mean, it kind of already is. I mean, once again, Makima does not own the concept of, like, you know, turning people into their thralls. But, like, the idea that, yeah, that is what Emu is doing. Emu is doing this ability with apparently no drawback or no, like, willpower to fight against it. Just, like, make a magic circle, do this thing, and then, boom, you're evil now and you work for me and you do what I say. That is a crazy broken ability, and we still do not know exactly. Jiron will eat the goat zone. Okay, I mean, goats can pretty much... Hey, goats are pretty powerful. They can eat pretty much anything, and they can walk on anything as long as there's a 91-degree angle. So, 91 degrees. You're going down. Walk up the side. Yeah. Been following you since the early Bleach days. Might just be me, but the mustache and goatee make you look like Sanji. I've gotten Sanji. I've gotten Mihawk. A lot of people have compared my mustache to and my beard thing to other characters. I'm very grateful. It's so funny to me though. I grew this like a little while ago. Like I've had a beard and like goatee thing now for at least a few months, and still the vast majority of comments I get are like, "Holy shit, you have a beard!" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like that took a while. I'm still seeing it though. Yeah. It's like, man, I haven't watched you in like a few years. Oh my god, you have a beard now. I'm like, that's great. That's cool. Yeah. I like it. I think I'm going to keep it. It's fun. I like it. Talked about the Black Clover comparisons. Talked about Kid arriving. I hesitate to say Kid is just straight up dead. But, like, is he going to show up and save the day? I don't know. Yeah, I could put these live streams on Spotify. Dude, I tried to I did one of those tournaments I did, like the 5-hour-long tournaments. I tried to turn that into a MP3 file and upload that to Spotify. It was just way too long. I tried breaking it up, and like rendering the file was giving me weird problems. I gotta go back and try a different method to do that. But yeah, I could put this one up on Spotify. I'll make a note to do that actually right after this because I always forget. Where's my pen? Okay, there we go. Spotify. There we go. I'll do that right after this is done, which we're ending. Like, actually, we're over an hour 30 now, so we could start closing it out. Oh my god, this was a nutty chapter. All right, so and no break next week. No break this week. Okay. Let's end it. Let's end it out by talking about that. Where do we go from here? Is the next chapter finally the fucking chapter where Luffy shows up and Loki shows up? And like the cavalry is finally coming over the hill, and they're finally going to like, oh wow, we're here, guys. You know, like, is this gonna go down here? Somebody's gonna free the rest of the Straw Hats, and so they can do stuff. Robin's gonna get freed, and she's gonna go try to save the library. We're gonna see Chopper and Scopper. Like, yeah. I haven't seen Luffy in 75 years. It's been like a month, but yeah, I get you. Yeah. Pan to Marijois next chapter. Yeah, we got to see what's up to when Marijois. I feel like we're going to hold off on Marijois. I think we're going to wait until the end of Elbaf, and then Oda's going to do that thing where it's like, now we cut back to Marijois during the events of Elbaf. You know, something like that, yeah. Yeah, Gabon has to teach them how to do it first, but, like, all this stuff's going on. Like, some people are going to die in the meantime. While, like, if Gabon has to take time to teach Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, everybody about how to hurt them. Hiruden's group is down there, too. So that's going to be, like, they're going to be a little bit of support, at least. Oh, my God. We also haven't seen Loki's power either. No, we haven't. Now, but I will say now that stuff has gone so much to shit at this point, I could totally see Loki just cutting down that damn tree. Like, I could just see him destroying the tree now. Like, at this point, like, scorched earth, I guess. Just, like, bring it all down. They need to get on, like they're up there and, like, this is the... Because remember, actually, holy crap, remember what Eames said at the end of the chapter. Emu said, do not raise the ground to waste. Do not lay this land to waste. It is to be ruled, not destroyed. Loki has entered the chat. Boom! And then knocks down the entire tree. If the giants can't have Elbaf, no one has Elbaf. Bam! Sucks about Elbaf, but, it was an old tree. It had to be cut down at some point. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good idea. Yeah, just cut down the damn tree. That's just Ragnarok. I mean, it's Elbaf. This is Elbaf! Ah, man. The world splitter, Loki. Ragnarok. Yeah, that is Thor Ragnarok. That is literally just like, yeah, we're just going to destroy. Yeah, well, whatever. Okay, let's roll with it. Oda's used tropes and stuff from comics before. Let's do it. Also, there's actual Ragnarok and then MCU Ragnarok. Shanks really picked a great time to leave Elbaf. Yeah, he's like, well, let's have one more drink before it all goes to shit, before the tree falls down. Luffy Gear 5th will just pull another tree out of his pocket. You could see, like, the tree gets cut down, the end of the third age, and then you see a little, like, it cuts back. Dude, I could totally see that. Like, go to the end, like, the tree gets cut down. Oh, my God, it's so sad. Cut to the end of One Piece. Go back to where Elbaf used to be, and you see the tree beginning to grow anew, which is also something that happened at the end of one of the Thor movies when the Bifrost begin to repair. It's the same thing. Like, we cut back, and, like, the tree is growing. It's going to take another 10,000 years to get back to where it was, but it's renewing. Its life continues. The circle, hope, Naza Quenya, all that kind of shit, right? What manga are you reading nowadays? Not reading any new manga, but I'm watching Apothecary Diaries right now. I'm almost done with season 1, and I'm really enjoying it. Mao Mao is a very funny character, also very serious, but very funny. You should read Sakamoto Days. I've read a little bit of Sakamoto Days. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, I think I'm going to end it here because I'm hungry. I'm going to go get lunch. Thank you all for watching and joining me. We had over 1,300 people in here. Let's hear a round of applause for all of you. Round of applause, everybody. Thanks for being fans. Oh, my God. And I'll be right back here next week because next chapter, whatever it's going to be, it's going to be insane. So we'll do a chapter review this week. Probably Friday is when that's going to be out. And then we'll do the breakdown stream next Saturday. Yeah, that's that. You guys have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go eat and then work on some other stuff. And then there is a video this week that I want to do. I was going to do it earlier this week, but I didn't do it because I knew this chapter was insane and I didn't want that video to like eclipse, like the review would have eclipsed that video. But I have a whole thing written up on what if Ivankov were to have eaten the Dragon Zone. This changes so many things in the story. Luffy dies in this version of events, okay? So when I get around to it, I want to make that video because I'm really pumped on that one. That's actually why Kaido is hanging out back here. I was going to film it, and I decided not to. So we'll get to that at some point, maybe earlier this week before the new spoilers come out for the chapter. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. You all have a great day. Teching, signing out.